Hi and welcome to this week's YouTube vlog from Barton All Burner Services, and I hope we've all had a good week this week. Thanks for everyone that has commented in the last vlog or vlogs, because there was 2 last week. Great comments, thank you very much. We always appreciate it and we like having a bit of banter with you as well. Also, thanks for the people that subscribed last week, that's brilliant. If you haven't subscribed, please feel free to. For the pure reason we're at nearly 800. Yeah, please, that'd be great. So on to this week's vlog. Yeah, it's not a different one, but it's sort of coming from a different angle this week, and this is a bit of a lesson to people that install boilers, including ourselves. So we went to this particular boiler, or Ryan did, yesterday afternoon. I had to do a bit of work on it last night in the workshop at home, and Ryan's gone back to it today, this afternoon, which obviously I don't know the end result yet while I'm recording this. Basically, the lesson being is, when you install a boiler, you need to really work out the location, i.e. is it subject to anything like the weather, wind, rain, ice, snow, whatever it is. You know, will it flood? Will the condense work its way back to the boiler? Is it a really windy area where it can blow that down the flue, potentially cause trouble on wall mounted boilers, stuff like that? Okay, so this is where we're getting at. You know, it's basically saying, when you install a boiler, have a think what could happen in the future. Where Ryan was yesterday is basically a boiler and it's flooded. Okay, the boiler's not high enough, or it's in a bad location. 2 years ago it flooded there and it made a mess, and I mean a mess of the boiler, and we rebuilt it, including a new burner that time, and literally said to them afterwards, you need to raise your boiler or move your boiler, and you certainly need to sort your condenser out, because your condenser going into a soakaway into the ground and then it's flooded, so it isn't going to work. It's going to cause you a massive problem. So what they've done is, like good old customers do, ignore the quote and leave it. Now we're 2 years on. Poor Ryan copped it yesterday. It's flooded worse than last time. However, it's pretty chilly here. Normally we'd say new burner, but in this case we decided, you know what, let's rebuild it. It's not really much difference in parts against a new burner, but at least they get it back today when he's done it. So yeah, that's what we're doing this week. So Ryan was there yesterday, he stripped it. I sorted the burner out last night, and Ryan's finishing it off today. So that's it. That's all I've got to tell you about. Let's get on with the vlog this week. And basically, Ryan, mate, over to you. This is this week's YouTube vlog.
Here we are. Got a bit of a problem. So, first of all, problem number 1, flood. As you can see, stones totally flooded. One was the boiler. Okay. First problem is condense pipe into the flooded ground. That's no good, is it? Second problem. Hang on, let me not drop my phone. Well, I mean, you can literally see the water line on the burner. Boiler's totally flooded, look. So I'm gonna take this burner out and sort that out. Condenser's all backed up. So what we need to do is, come on, let me just try and get out. There we go. So what we need to do is, this boiler needs to be raised. Now this has been pumped, so the water gets a lot higher than this level. This condense needs to come out and not go in this section. The condense needs to come out all the way up here. Every year when we get rain, this floods. The rain is costing the customer a lot of money right now, but as you can see, it backs up quite bad. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to now take that burner away, and I'm going to go see if I can sort the burner out and make it work again. Right, so as you can see from that video, that job wasn't very fun. Now, I couldn't actually record myself, so what I've done is, let's start again. So what I've done is, I've pulled that burner away because it's going to need rebuilding. Okay, I mean, the level of water on that burner was probably halfway up the control box, so it's going to need a lot of parts. Now, I've now got the burner in my van. I'm going to go and give it to Robert, and Robert's going to rebuild it tonight. Now, hopefully, all goes well. He rebuilds it, and tomorrow I'll go back, plug it in, and away it goes. I'll probably have to put a new nozzle in it and all that, because like I say, usually my dad changes all the parts and leaves the old rubbish nozzle in there. So but either way, like I say, I'm gonna get it all sorted. So I suppose the next video will be my dad doing it. So good luck, Robert. I hope you appreciate the burner that I've given you, and I hope it doesn't take too many hours to sort it out. From your favourite son. Nah, Ben's a favourite.
Thanks, Ryan, for this burner. We're now in the workshop, okay, aka home. So, as we know, this burner is waterlogged. You can see the mark here where it made it to. So as you can tell, anything behind there is going to be pretty wet. You've only got to spin it over and you can see where it's got wet in there. So it's pretty cold. It's -1 tonight, okay, and it's going to get colder here. So to get my new burner, I can get one in a couple of days, but they're quite a lot of money. So I'm going to strip this down. I'm going to see what it needs, and I've got a heap of bits. Everything that's here comes to less than a new burner, including my labour, because it takes about 20 minutes, half an hour to do this lot. So normally I'd say, well, give the customer the option, do you want a new burner, blah, 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 or do you want this here? The thing is, a new burner, year guarantee, all the part, 1 year's guarantee. And it's only the casing here that's going to be left. So in theory, yeah, probably it doesn't matter what you do. But our priority is to get the customer warm again tomorrow. So as you see from Ryan's video, there's a lot of water condenser built up as well. So all we're going to be able to do tomorrow is cut the condense, put it into a bucket until the water subsides, and then do something else with it. But we do, you know, we've told the customer already, like I said earlier on, to get the boiler up higher or relocate the boiler, reposition the condense, because this is going to happen again and again and again, and they get to the third time. It's right then saying to me insurance company pays for it, but that's not a right to us. It's ridiculous, okay, because it's a total waste of our time as well. So here we go. Here's a quick full strip down and rebuild of an RDV burner, Rovi style. All right, so first things first, cover off. Only one screw holding it on. I'm going to drop all this into here because there's going to be a bit of water come out. Cover. Oh my God. Jeez. Cover off. Right, over here. Think. There we go. I've put sheets down because I'm actually doing some woodwork in the workshop, so clearly I don't want to get water on it. So sheets down in here. Right, next thing's next. I'm just going to strip it. I'm going to take the end panel off. Okay, the only thing that's concerned me slightly is here. So if you can see that, the numbers have disappeared for some reason, so I need to have a little look at that as well. So I'm just going to crack on and get the end cheek off now. Okay, whoa. I've undone the screw there and the screw there. We're now going to pop it off. And as you can see, we're pretty wet behind here. So I'll give that a little clean in a minute. I'm now going to undo 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to be off. 4 screws undone, and we're going to lift. And voila, we're a little bit wet. Okay, so as you can see the mark where the water got to here. That will clean and dry, that's absolutely fine. But as you can appreciate, it's probably gone straight into the motor. So that's the next bit I'm going to strip out. Just going to undo this here, and I'm going to remove the fan once I've lubricated here, because it looks a bit corroded. Fan off, water. Okay, pretty sure it's gone into the motor. These are only HT leads here, they're going to be alright. This is going to be alright, electrodes are going to be okay. They'll just wipe clean. So I'm going to spin them over. Next thing I'm going to do is take the pump off and pull the motor off. And then I'm going to take the coil off and obviously control box. So guess what, we'll start with the coil. Water. Okay, you can't see that'd be in there, so you can't take any chances on that, so that's got to be changed. That is corroded on there. Okay, so I'm going to have a little look at the pump next. Pump off, no water there, which is very interesting. Now the stem of the pump's corroded. I could try and clean that, I might have done. However, even though this pump is dirty, I thought there'd probably be nothing wrong with it. But when I keep turning this, which is the 52 times turn of the shaft to 1 revolution of the pump inside, and I've turned it, got to about 30 times. Oh, it's not doing it now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it goes stiff. There. If you, oh, all right, there we go, and it's going again. So regardless of if it's got a water issue or not, unfortunately the pump's got to be chucked away. Okay, for the few reason it's going to lock. So we used to rebuild the whole burner and leave this on and clean that, even though it worked. Just imagine when it locked a few weeks later, we get the blame for it. So I'm afraid the pump is gone. Now let's take the motor off. Going back a step, by the way, with the pump, 12mm, 2 Allen keys. To take the pump off, you've got an Allen key down here, one, and there's one tucked down here. I'm just going to undo then and let's get it off. Okay, they're undone. Saturated. I could undo that, but I know they'll be watching there by experience. I might undo it in a little bit just to show you, but yeah, at the moment, that's dead. Right, capacitor. Full of water, as you can see. Okay, it's actually sticky. Look, sticky. So it's actually leaking anyway. And to be honest, that comes in the kit with the new motor. So yeah, it's better to have it like that. So we're going to whip them wires off. Gone. Okay, so I'll be taking that off now. Sticky, sticky. You can see the water on the top as well. Gone. Okay, we're now going to turn over. We're going to undo that. Lift on the control box, lift the flap up, disconnect the motor and the accessories that are in there. Top undone. On here you've got photocell, coil, solenoid coil, motor, your live neutral, and yeah, you don't use that as an earth because the earth is actually around here. Okay, that's for the warning light to say it's locked out. So I'm just going to pull all these off. Then I'm going to undo one Allen key there, and there's one just there, and we'll take the control box off and see how much water is in that. Control box undone. I'm just going to turn it over. Remember, there will be some HT leads here. Water. I know water would have got inside. Again, experience. If I shake it, yeah, there's water. So that's going to have to go as well, I'm afraid. Look, it's everywhere, the water. All right, so I'm just going to disconnect the HT leads. Then we're on to the photocell. Photocell. Soaked on the end, look, okay? I know the water will get into there. You can try and dry it out, but it's pointless. The trouble is, if you do this and then you find that, oh yeah, it works today, it might go wrong tomorrow. They don't just dry out things like this. Some do, some don't. So clearly, that's gone as well. But now we've pretty much stripped down, as you can see. Apart from things like the nozzle and stuff like that, which is nice and straightforward, that's it. So I'm going to give it a good clean. I'm going to have a good dry up. I'm going to blow it all out of an airline and clean it. I'm going to stick a new nozzle in the end here, check the electrodes, and then we'll start banging it back together again. I've had a bit of a wash. It looks wet, but it's not. It's just WD where I've done it. I can't get it any cleaner than that. It's just stained. All right, but it's fine. If I wipe it, it's absolutely fine. No problem. We are going to put on a new motor, a new control box, a new pump, photocell, coil, capacitor. I cleaned all this up. Again, it's damping WD, and I've done this as well. I've also repaired in here. You can see that it just fell out of its holder, so that's absolutely fine as well. So that all adjusts and works like it's supposed to as well. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plonk the motor back in, and then once I've done that, I'm going to connect the HT leads to the control box, and I'm going to plonk that in. Okay, motor on, control box on. Little tip: always put the motor on first because of the screw down there. Makes life a lot easier. When you also put the control box on, make sure it goes on correctly, because if you look here, there's a little seal, so that seal needs to go on as well. I'm now going to spin it over, and I'm going to put the fan on, nice and free, as you can see. Now the fan is just stained. I tried to clean it, but it's stained, so it's absolutely fine. So with the fan, what you need to do is find the flat, which is there, and then it literally slides on, like so. What you do is you put your Allen key in there, push it hard down, lift it about 1 mil, and then do it up. And that's what I'm going to do, and then it should spin lovely. Nice, and it's not making any noise, it's not catching at all. Tip, I'm going to put this on now, but before you do, you just need to do something first. Make sure, just here, the nuts can fall out here and here. And obviously that's what holds the cover on, and in this case, this nut has fell out. So remember that even when you're servicing, to pop that nut in, really important. So, I'm going to stick this on next, and then I'm going to stick the outer cheek on. The outer cheek's on. Before you go any further, I'm just going to spin it over. And we're going to spin it in the back of the motor. The reason I do that first is to make sure the fan's not catching on the cheek the other side, which is not. I'm now going to put the pump on. Obviously drive coupling in first. I'm going to put the capacitor into place, and then I'm going to obviously put the pump on correctly. I'll put the coil on, and then it's over to the wiring. Finally, we're going to put the capacitor leads on. Doesn't matter which way around these go. And then the cover. Wash it with the cover. Got to get the lead, the main fly lead, into that. So I tend to put it on there. Over there like so. And push. On. Let's spin her over. Okay, we've just got to put the main cover back on now, and then we'll go from there. Okay, that's me done. So I'll just give it a quick bit of WD. I'm going to let that dry, then I'll give it a little wipe in a little while. And we know it's nice and shiny, and it's all ready to go. I've double checked the plug, there's no water in here either. And that's it, that's me done. Ryan will change the nozzle when it's back on site to know what to go in it, etc. Never trust what's in there. Always have a look at what the boiler model is and then go from there. So that's it, that's my bit done. All rebuilt. Took about half an hour to do that, so it's not too bad. As you can see, it looks a hell of a lot better than what it did. So basically, Ryan, it's over to you.
Okay, so next day. Now I have just seen my dad, Robert, and he has just given me the new burner. I will give him 15 out of 10 for it, because I gave it to him and it was a pile of junk. And now I've got it back, and it's so shiny. He must have got the polish out, to be honest. But it's amazing. He's done a great job, so big respect, Dad. Anyway, I now have the burner, and I am about to take off and go to the house. I am hoping it's not going to take me too long, because now the burner's up and running. I know there's water still in the bottom, so I'm going to have to clean all the water out, make it nice and dry again. Get the burner back in there, put a new nozzle in it, I've been told. Funny enough, I've had to put a new nozzle in there, so I'll stick that in there. And yeah, I'm hoping, plug it in, away it goes, go around the house, do some heat checks, make sure everything's warming up properly. Water got in one of the rooms in the houses as well, so the sooner that I can get them radiators nice and hot and up to temp, the sooner we can dry the house out again. But I'm hoping by the end of this, we're going to have a boiler that's up and running, from a big disaster to a working boiler. And to be honest with you, in theory, in under 24 hours. So we'll give ourselves that. I'll meet you guys when we get there, yeah? Here we are, as we can see, arrived back at the property. First things first, I mean, what about that? I mean, that looks brand spanking new now, look. Well done, Dad. Did very well there. So this is what I'm met with. So, as you can see, the place is still flooded, but I think, oh, I can tread in it. Look at that now. So this is what I've got to deal with first. Look. We've got water all over the bottom of the boiler that has actually dried up since yesterday, so that's great. Inside, that is also full of water. Don't know if you can see that because the lighting. There you go. Combustion chamber is also full of water, and look, the condenser is totally blocked up. So I'm going to sort all this water stuff out first. I'm going to suck that water out, clean that water up, clear through the condense, clear out the secondary exchanger, and then yeah, I'll meet you guys back after that. As you can see, I have now obviously still got to do a spray, but I've got all the water out of inside there, the bottom of there. I've also gone through the secondary and I've cleaned all that up. As you can see, I've also emptied the contents, you can see there. So now I'm going to replace this oil line first of all, because I mean, that's not ideal, is it? Secondly, come around here, the condense is still flooded, so I'm literally going to cut the pipe there and put a little bucket there probably. But for the time being, I need to cut it and make it work. So, but as you can see, the condense is flooded. So just quickly, again, got the oil line off. Now, us over here at Barton Oil Burner Services, we only use one type of oil line. The ruby reds. You've got an inner tube, then you've got a metal braiding around the inner tube, and then you've got this sort of like silicone layer on the outside. The idea is that if the middle one splits, the middle pipe splits, this silicone layer is going to catch the oil, to which an engineer like us on a service will see the oil in there and change it. Totally changed the game of oil lines. I'm going to install it on this boiler now. Onto the condense now. I'm not sure if any water's going to come out or how much water is going to come out. So let's find out together, shall we? On there. Alright, happy days. Get rid of that. Put that down there. Seems like we're nice and clear. I mean, I've got water right there, but we're obviously nice and clear now. So, I'm going to get that wonderful machine up and running. Burner in place. Nice new oil line on there. Ready to go. Got it plugged in. Not turned on at the moment. Chances are I'm going to have to change a fuse or switch a switch, flick a switch, but put a new nozzle in the burner, 7580 as you can see right there. I'm going to go inside now and work out what's popped, get this thing on, and yeah, I'll show you the boiler running and me setting up. Right, so here we are, boiler's up and running. Just got my machine in there, as you can see. It's absolutely miles out right now. I need to have a play with that, but I'll sort that out in a minute. Just running the boiler, getting it warm, trying to get some of that water, that moisture, warmed up and dried out. But there you go, from start to finish, eh? So very happy with this one, very happy customer. And yeah, we'll give ourselves that because of the short time period. Usually Dad says the goodbyes for our vlogs, so yeah, sure you'll be over to him now, but from me, see you next time.
So that is it, everyone. That's this week's YouTube vlog for Barton Oil Burner Services. Tig done. Hope you enjoyed it. Just showing a slightly different aspect of what can go wrong in the world of Bobs and general plumbers and heating engineers out there. And yeah, watch out if you're an installer, even though you can't blame an installer in this case because the customer didn't tell them. When you're installing a boiler, it might just be a little question to ask: is it susceptible for flooding in this area? And then that would have been avoided. Simple as that. So thanks to Ryan for featuring mainly this week in the vlog. Sorry mate, you got wet feet and I know you got cold feet and he was annoyed. So yeah, oh well, never mind, you'll soon warm up. And yeah, everyone have a great weekend. So until next week everyone, stay safe.